Hello lovelies. Alright, you may wonder why I've already got my makeup completely done. This is not a tutorial. I just wanted to look fabulous whilst I was yelling about makeup. But this is a bit of a different video. It is kind of going to talk about different palettes because I realized that I use a lot of palettes in my tutorials. And a good portion of them are quote-unquote popular palettes, as well as ones that are quite expensive, and ones that might be a little overhyped. So, from the palettes that I actually do own, I am going to tell you guys if I think it is worth it, how much each palette is, and what I think you could use from it, whether it be on yourself, or if you're a working makeup artist, you could use it for clients, stuff like that. Let's get it going. That's what I'm going to talk about, mainly because it is on top, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glowkit. Now this one just happens to be the Moonchild Glowkit, but a lot of their glow kits and highlighters in general are super duper duper hyped. And this one got a lot of hype because it was pretty unique. And I know the Aurora glow kit's getting a lot of hype, and Nicole Guerrero one got a lot of hype, but yeah, let's talk about it. Now, majority of the glow kits come with 6 shades, unless you get the little square ones. Those come with 4. Yeah. But these retail for $45 or $42. I will put the correct price on the screen so y'all can know. For 6 highlighters, or 4. Oh, wait, no. They are 40. The correction will be on there. Either 6 or 4 highlighters. So, that brings it to about $10 each if it is 4, or a little less if you get the one with 6. No. The entire thing is, I'm reading the back of it too, 4.2 grams or 0.15 ounces each. Do I think that's a little steep for a highlighter palette when BH Cosmetics has one for around 20? Yes I do. Especially because the BH one is really, really nice. But these, along with another one I'm going to show you, are blinding. Especially the Moonchild one. I don't know if it's the duochrome. I don't know if it's the fact that they're all really, really light colors. Like, not one of these is like tan or bronze or dark. But they are blinding. I think it's worth it because I literally use this every single day. If I was not highlighter crazy or I didn't have the money for it, I would for sure get the BH Cosmetics one. Mainly because it's a hell of a lot cheaper. But I love Anastasia Beverly Hills. Their highlighters are quality. They're wonderful. So if you have the money to splurge and get this, I would get it. If not, get one of the BH Cosmetics ones. Speaking of BH Cosmetics, next on the list is the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette. Now this is the combination palette I mentioned. It has 21 eyeshadows and highlighters. The highlighters are all at the bottom here, and then the eyeshadows are up here. Now this is about $20, which is not bad considering this palette is huge, and you get eyeshadows as well as highlighters. Now these are the only highlighters I've encountered ever that are more blending than the Anastasia ones. Let's see, I've done the pink one, I think. Try the white one. Swatch the white one and the pink one on my hands, or on my hand. Look at that. That is absurd. And the eyeshadows that I've tried from this are super duper buttery and really nice. Honestly, this is a great neutrals palette. It's an everyday palette. If you're a working makeup artist, you can use this for bridal clients. This is also a super hyped palette. When it came out, everybody and their grandma was talking about it, but This I actually think is worth it because it is a very good price and you do get a lot of different neutral shadows and pink shadows and some shimmer shades and highlight and bronzy shades that people with darker skin tones can use as highlights, or if you're on the medium to late spectrum, you can use it as bronzer. But this is a really nice palette and comes with a huge mirror, as I blind you guys. So it is definitely good for personal use, but for the price, yes. Oh, also, since I forgot to mention it, both BH Cosmetics as well as Anastasia Beverly Hills are completely cruelty-free. Now, another super hyped eyeshadow palette. This is one of the Too Faced chocolate bar palettes. This is the Bon Bon palette. Now, when the chocolate bar palettes came out, they blew up everywhere. I didn't really care about the other two. I wanted this one because, as you can see, it's got more pinky tone ones, some pops of pinky tone nudes, pops of color, all that stuff. And it smells really good. Now, honestly, for the price, this is $49 like all the other chocolate bar palettes. Honestly, for the price, you could probably get a different palette, maybe the Makeup Revolution dupe for this, but Too Faced shadows are like possibly some of, if not the best shadows I've ever used. They're buttery, they blend wonderfully, they're not patchy. It's the one on my lids right now is actually from this palette. It is that shade. But this, you're paying for quality, honestly. And these are, I'm also reading the things on the 14 shadows are 1 gram, those are the little baby ones, and then the bigger ones are 2.2 grams. So, and the bigger ones are the one at the top and the one at the bottom, the little rectangular ones. The 1 ounce ones are the little heart ones. But for me, this is worth it. Are a lot of the tones in this pretty similar to some of the ones in the Carli Bybel palette? That is about $30 cheaper. Yeah. I got this because I wanted one of the chocolate bar palettes and I like it, and Too Faced shadows are really good quality, so I'm gonna say this is one of those, if you can splurge and you like pinky tone neutrals and you like stuff that smells like chocolate, I would get this. But if you're not a fan of the colors in here, you don't like pinky neutrals, you don't like any of this, then I would not buy this. I would save your money and get something else. Another one. This is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. Now, this exploded. You could not go anywhere on social media without seeing this thing. And then it was sold out for like a year straight. And then I finally got my hands on it with the restock. It was happened to be at Sephora. Now, this is trying to see things. There are 18 shadows. The entire top row, as well as that one, are the textured shadows that are like creamy based. The rest are either matte or shimmer. Now, this is the most expensive palette that is in this little feature thing, as well as that I own. This retails for $65. Yeah. It hurt my soul when I bought it. I'm even planning to get the new one that Huda Beauty's coming out with, the Desert Heat or Desert Sunset palette. Something along those lines. It's beautiful. This is one of those things I'm going to say, I honestly think this is overpriced. The shadows are gorgeous. The pigment is nice. Now, some people have had this and they say the pigment is patchy or it doesn't blend nicely. I think it might be a batch thing. Mine is fine, but I know several people I've seen on YouTube have said this is like patchy and gross and terrible. So I will kind of put this up as I love it. If I hadn't been trying to get this for over a year and a half, I would not have paid this much money for it. It is not worth $65. They are beautiful shadows, but that is expensive. And you can get a majority of the shades in the next palette I'm going to show you, minus the textured ones and a few others, for over $20 less. Yeah, this is one of those, I love it, but I think it's overpriced. And I'm going to be honest about that. It is not worth $65. Maybe $50. And yes, I am going to get the other palette, and it is the same price because I have a problem. I'm aware of it at least. Yeah, this is one of those things. Also, I will say this is going to be discontinued very soon. It is limited edition. I think that's probably because the Desert Sunset palette, or whatever it's called, is coming out next month, which is September on the 18th, I believe. So that's probably why they're discontinuing this, but yeah. Alright, speaking of the next palette, that is, got a random black line on, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Now, I think this actually does have the thing on it. They are 0.7 grams each, and there are, oops, the brush is trying to fly out into the void. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 shadows. So essentially same as the other one, but do you see similarities? The only thing that this doesn't have is maybe some of the pinky tones and the textured shadows, but this is kind of a dupe for it, and this retails for $42, and it is not limited edition. I know ABH has been getting a lot of flack for their palettes because the Subculture palette came out and everybody is yelling about how terrible it is, but this is not patchy and terrible and horrid. I actually did get to swatch the Subculture palette in Sephora, and I was just like, why? It feels nothing like this. It's so flying everywhere, but this is really nice. They blend wonderfully. I've actually used this in a tutorial already, and I've used it on the daily. There is a bit of fallout, but that's just because I recently used this. Definitely used the Warm Taupe and the Cypress Umber. But yeah, this is a really nice alternative to the Huda Beauty palette, which is a good thing to remember when it goes bye-bye. But yeah. If you wanted a palette similar to the Huda Beauty palette, get this one. It is still expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than that one, and it's not limited edition, and the shadows are better quality. So this is one of the ones I'd say splurge on because it is a really pretty warm tone palette. The shadows are quality. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills. And you don't have to worry about it being discontinued. So. Another one that I actually just got my hands on today and have yet to play with, but I can vouch for the other ones that aren't this one, is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette in Summer Breeze. Now, this is sought after because it is a dupe for the Kat Von D Monarch palette that got discontinued a while ago. It's a lot of orangey burgundy tones with black and brown at the end. This also kind of sort of looks a little bit like some of the colors in the Naked Heat palette. Now, this is one of the ones I can vouch for, not because I've used this particular one, but I've used the e.l.f. Everyday Smoky palette. e.l.f. eyeshadows are really good. And if you're looking for a warm, purpley, orange toned palette for a really, 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 really good price, this is $10. And you can get it at pretty much any drugstore or on e.l.f.'s website. And you get 10 eyeshadows. They're basically literally $1 per little thing. This is $10 for 10 shadows. They're really pigmented, really nice. You can do a lot of versatile looks with this, so for this one, I am also going to say get it. It's a really wonderful price, and you can do a lot of looks with it, and it'll give you the like warm tones and the like reddish burnt tones that the Naked Heat palette will give you, except it's $10 instead of $54. Also, e.l.f. is cruelty free as well. I didn't mention Huda Beauty because I have no idea if they are or not. I got that before I went cruelty free, and I do not know their stance. I've not been able to find anything. Another super hype one is the Femme Rosa Karuche x Colourpop. I hope I said her name right. She eyeshadow palette. Now this I have actually gotten to play with a little more, and these shadows are lovely. This is another limited edition one. I think it just restocked. I mentioned this in my first impressions one, but so far Colourpop shadows are really, really nice. It blends well. Even the like foiled ones go on really nicely, so I would definitely say it. This eyeshadow is palette is $15. It is... There are 12 shadows and they are 0.85 grams. This is cruelty free. And you can get it on the Colourpop website and soon Sephora. Yup. Sephora's going to start carrying Colourpop in November. You are going to be able to get Colourpop and Sephora soon, and they're not changing the prices, so it's definitely a good one. But this is another one I'd say it's really worth it if you like the pinky warm tones and you don't want to pay a lot of money for some of the other warm tone palettes out there. And you can get the metallic and foiled shadows also as well, and they're really nice quality, so that's a definite good. I think that is it. That is all the eyeshadow palettes and other base palettes I wanted to talk about at the moment that are overhyped or expensive or high-end or drugstore or what have you. Now keep in mind this is just my opinion, and I only have opinions for the ones that I own and have personally used on either myself or others / clients or what have you. I cannot give opinions on shadow palettes that I have not either used or tested in store, because I did mention the Subculture palette, which I did get to play with when I was at Sephora, and no, that was atrocious. But yeah, if you guys liked this or like me, don't forget to subscribe. But as usual, all the helpful links are in the description below. I love you guys dearly, and I'll see you next time. Bye!